will reopen British markets for American companies. All that Britain demands in return is that we keep these two. Meghan Markle's characters struggle to balance her legal career while also caring for an unemployed immigrant.
Late-night TV rarely changes anyone's life. Yet on May 11, 2025, a single throwaway gag detonated like a cultural hand grenade. During Saturday Night Live's Weekend Update, Colin Jost deadpanned that Britain's only demand in a shiny new US-UK trade deal was that America keep these two. Behind him flashed a smug photo of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. Laughter roared through Studio 8H. And by dawn, the 7-second clip sat atop trending lists from New York to Nairobi. Memes multiplied, reaction videos exploded, and a new consensus. Crystallized. The Sussex fairy tale had curdled into a running joke. Stick around, and if you like pulling back the curtain on stories the headlines barely scratch, hit subscribe so you're first in line for what's coming next. For years, comedians treated the couple like fine crystal, admired, rarely clinked. Jost shattered that etiquette. His trade deal riff worked because it compressed 2 continents' exasperation into 7 efficient words. Within hours, TikTok stitched the joke onto split screens of the Oprah interview, while Reddit threads ranked it top 3 SNL royal roasts ever. The Page 6 headline, "Brutally Roasted," racked up 15 million impressions, and even ordinarily staid morning shows played the clip on loop. Hooky line aside, the segment marked a pivot. Public discussion slipped from "Are they victims?" to "We're done." That audible crack in the studio wasn't just laughter. It was a verdict that the couple's once impenetrable brand armor had finally splintered. Numbers soon confirmed what the punchline suggested. A fresh YouGov tracker, May 2025, showed Meghan's favorability at +20 or 65, her worst since polling began. Harry limped in at 36. In the US, they still fared better, yet their net rating tilted negative for the first time. An unheard of slide for a prince once dubbed Diana's most beloved son by the tabloids. Demographically, the collapse was even starker. Among Britain's 65+, 86% view them unfavorably. Among Gen Z Americans, positive sentiment fell 18 points in a single year. The couple's PR machine kept recycling glossy wellness quotes, but in the comment sections a different story brewed. Eye-roll emojis and simple fatigue. Public goodwill can evaporate. Corporate patience is measured in dollars. Spotify's 2020 mega deal promised a blockbuster podcast empire. Instead, it produced 1 marquee series and a holiday special before dissolving in June 2023. Bill Simmons, then head of podcast innovation, vented on air. "I wish I'd been in that meeting. These king grifters." The profane blast went viral, landing in Guardian and Variety recaps within hours. Simmons later softened his tone, but the G word stuck like tar. It reframed the Sussex narrative from bold entrepreneurs to overpaid under-deliverers, and every subsequent brand partnership carried the scent of risk. When Netflix unveiled its reported $100 million pact, press releases dripped with talk of groundbreaking storytelling. Reality proved harsher. Meghan's animated series, Pearl, was quietly axed in 2022, now dogged by plagiarism whispers from a British children's author who said the concept mirrored her Pearl Power books. Harry's docuseries Heart of Invictus premiered amid royal watcher buzz, then failed to crack Netflix's top 10 on either side of the Atlantic. Internal view-through metrics leaked to industry blogs painted a bleaker picture. Most viewers bailed midway through episode 2. Meanwhile, Meghan's lifestyle pilot with Love, Meghan debuted in March 2025, dipped out of the global chart in 8 days, and vanished from social chatter even faster. In Hollywood currency, that's a write-off. Hollywood telegraphed status with 2 unspoken questions. Are you on the guest list? And do the photographers care? Over the past 18 months, the Sussexes have discovered how quickly both answers can turn to no. First came the fashion world's Super Bowl, the 2025 Met Gala. Despite Serena Williams, Mindy Kaling, and other friends working the carpet, Harry and Meghan were nowhere in sight. Glossy recaps in Harper's Bazaar and Town & Country noted the royal no-show without a hint of surprise, framing their absence as the new normal rather than headline drama. A month earlier, the Oscars red carpet producers likewise left their names off the presenter roster. Meghan had never been invited even during her Suits days, and the couple didn't make the after-party circuit either. In an industry that can always find room for even B-list reality stars, Repeated non-invitations are less snub than silent verdict. The buzz they once generated no longer converts into ratings or clicks. The chill isn't confined to red carpets. A Vanity Fair deep dive chronicled how celebrity neighbors in Montecito, billionaires and Oscar winners who prize invisibility, now view the couple as paparazzi magnets, resenting helicopter flyovers and tabloid stakeouts that follow. Them like storm clouds. Some locals described Harry and Meghan as invisible until the cameras arrive, a polite Californian way of saying they're persona non grata at neighborhood dinners. Their wider social circle is tightening too. A PR analyst told the New York Post that once vocal allies like Oprah, Tyler Perry, and the Clooneys have begun keeping public distance, no reposted brand launches, no cameo podcasts, because the Sussex value add is outweighed by potential fallout with Buckingham Palace or with fatigued audiences. Invitations from the couple reportedly go unRSVP'd, while A-listers pivot to engagements with Prince William and Catherine, whose royal cachet still sells tickets. Even the grassroots celebrity scene feels the void. Influencer roundups of who was where at Coachella or Art Basel rarely mention the Sussexes now. Festival bloggers focus on the Biebers or Zendaya instead. Pap agency editors say photos of Harry and Meghan command a fraction of their 2021 rate, making them poor bait for splash pages. In a town where relevance, revenue, that drop is fatal. Taken together, the empty seats at marquee galas, the wary, silence of one-time boosters, the neighbors' open irritation. Hollywood is delivering its bluntest feedback. Star power here is a renewable resource, but only if the public still wants to see you shine. Right now, the Sussex wattage is flickering. The first real wave came from Britain's own Graham Norton, who gleefully premiered a fake Season 2 trailer for the Sussexes' Netflix life, complete with canned tears, paparazzi jump cuts, and a punchline that Harry, according to Backstage, whispers found infuriating. His bit landed not because it was savage, but because the audience didn't flinch. The laughter was warm, almost relieved, as if everyone had been waiting for someone to say the quiet part out loud. Days later, Trevor Noah doubled down on U.S. prime time, reviving his spare us quip about Harry's frostnip saga while hosting the Grammys. Viewers clipped it, captioned it, and pushed it to 1 million TikTok loops by breakfast. What stunned media analysts was the applause break. Grammys crowds are notoriously tame, yet Noah's jab drew the night's loudest cheer outside a Taylor Swift win. The ripple effect reached late-night mainland. Stephen Colbert riffed that Harry's memoir reads like eat, pray, wine, then flashed a graphic of the prince as a frozen nose emoji. YouTube re-uploads hit trending within hours. John Oliver, never one to pile on royal tropes, nevertheless, squeezed in a Sussex sideswipe between segments on European farm policy, proof the couple had crossed from headline fodder to evergreen punchline. Comedy writers call this the free shot threshold. Once a subject can be roasted without fear of backlash. Everyone piles in because the audience is already on side. That's precisely where Harry and Meghan sit now. The couple's lawyers can rebut newspapers. They can't subpoena punchlines. And culturally, when the public is laughing at you more than talking about you, the climb back to credibility is Everest steep. While the jokes crescendo, Buckingham Palace clings to its vintage credo. Never complain, never explain. A communications fossil that suddenly feels razor sharp in the meme era. Royal correspondents note the household strategy hasn't budged since the 90s. Let the storm spend itself while courtiers offer serene photo ops of tree planting and hospital visits. Experts say the approach is brutally effective because it flips the news cycle. After Harry's tell-all memoir spare hit shelves, Palace aides refrained from even a one-sentence rebuttal. Within a fortnight, headlines had pivoted from his bombshells to whether the oversharing was harming his own standing. The royal brand, protected by silence, emerged oddly shinier, while Harry's personal favorables nosedived. In 2025, the tactic hardened. Queen Camilla's office quietly briefed that she would stay out of the spiraling father-son feud, projecting stateswoman-like distance just as fresh excerpts from Harry's BBC sit-down lit social media on fire. King Charles, despite chemotherapy headlines, kept public appearances strictly charity-focused. The visual was powerful. While the Sussexes argued on podcasts, the monarch stood beside cancer patients at a Maggie's Center opening. Even royal watchers sympathetic. To Harry concede the silence works. A recent Yahoo UK poll found 62% of respondents believe the Sussexes should adopt the same dignified quiet if they ever hope for reconciliation. In other words, the family Harry accuses of emotional frostbite is beating him with nothing but a raised eyebrow, and that wordless judgment is landing harder than any press release could. The fallout isn't confined to late-night monologues. It's hitting the balance sheets of causes once eager for a Sussex halo. In March, the prince shocked observers by resigning from Sentabale, the HIV charity he co-founded at 19, citing an untenable relationship breakdown with fellow trustees. Within 6 weeks, 2 more board members quit, and the charity's flagship London Gala was postponed for lack of a headline sponsor. Donors quietly told The Guardian they were wary of drama. Across the Atlantic, Archewell's own filings stumbled. California's Attorney General briefly marked the foundation delinquent over late paperwork, freezing its ability to raise money until forms were corrected. A bureaucratic hiccup, yes, but a PR nightmare for a couple selling themselves as world-class organizers. Then came April's abrupt U-turn. Archewell yanked $55,000 from a Muslim women's charity after anti-Israel tweets by its founder surfaced. Advocates called the Sussexes about-face knee-jerk optics, and 2 progressive groups publicly declined future collaborations, citing mission drift. Even Harry's day job at the mental health startup BetterUp took a reputational bruise when an independent op-ed labeled the unicorn firm a toxic train wreck, whose wellness rhetoric masked high staff churn. Added up, and a pattern emerges. Potential partners run cost-benefit analyses, then quietly edge away. One Hollywood philanthropy broker put it bluntly to Deadline. If laughter is the new public mood, cutting a big check starts to look like the punchline. In branding terms, that's reputation bankruptcy, a state where goodwill is so depleted that every fresh initiative, however noble, is priced at a punitive risk premium. Unless the Sussexes can replenish that goodwill fast, many of the doors once flung open in 2020 may stay politely but firmly shut. Colin Jost likely didn't intend to write the couple's cultural epitaph, but his 7-word roast did exactly that. It confirmed an emerging verdict. The world isn't angry at Harry and Meghan. It's over them. The arc from global fascination to collective shrug took barely 5 years, fueled by oversharing, under-delivering, and relentless image management. So, was the downfall pre-written in the stars? Or could a humbler path have rewritten their fate? Drop your take below. I read every comment. And if you crave more no-fluff cultural deep dives, hit subscribe.